Today, I'm going to be making a peanut butter and jelly cake. This is going to have peanut butter frosting as well. So this recipe is from the Southern Living 1985 Annual Recipes book. This is a compilation of lots and lots of recipes throughout the year. So you can search by months. So like you can tell, we're in February here because the next page is when March starts. So I'm going to give you the ingredients for the cake itself, and then when we get to the frosting, that's going to be totally separate ingredients. So for the cake, you will need a half a cup of butter softened, a 1/4 cup of creamy peanut butter, we like Jif, 1 1/3 cups sugar, 2 eggs, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of milk, and 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cream our butter and peanut butter, and then we're going to gradually add in the sugar. We're going to add in our eggs one at a time. So we have our flour, and we're going to add our baking powder and our salt to this. And I'm just going to mix this together. And then we're going to alternate. We're going to add like a spoonful of this to our mix, and then let that mix in, and then we're gonna add some milk, and then we're gonna go back and forth and keep adding these until they're mixed in, and then we'll stir in the vanilla, the very last thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with some flour before I turn it on, and then we'll get started. To stir in your vanilla. You also want to have your oven preheated to 350 degrees, and you want to grease and flour 2 9-inch round pans. If you have parchment paper, you can use parchment paper. I have these little mats, so we use the little mats on the bottom, but then I still use Baker's Joy, which has flour around the edges. So thick that you will want to take your little spatula and you'll want to flatten it out. There's not a lot of liquid there, so it doesn't really want to slide. I'll show you with the other one.
Doesn't spread naturally.
No, it does not spread naturally. So like this one, see, it's not really going anywhere. So you need to pat it down in place. So we want to bake these for 30 to 35 minutes. I'm gonna set my timer for the low end of the time. We're gonna start at 30 minutes, and then we'll be back. My cakes took 30 minutes. I stuck a toothpick in them. The toothpick came out clean. It says you want to let them cool in the pan for 10 minutes, and then you want to turn them out on a wire rack. So I'm gonna set another timer for 10 minutes, then I'm gonna come back, turn them out onto a wire rack, and then at that point, we're gonna let them cool completely. Cakes have cooled, so now I'm going to move on to making the frosting. So, well, let me just tell you this first. You need the grape jelly. You need 3/4 cup of grape jelly. Now, when it comes out of here, it's like in clumps. So I measured it into this bowl, 3/4 cups, and then I took a fork and I smashed it down because we're going to be spreading this grape jelly. And I just bought the Great Value, the Walmart kind. You could use whatever kind of jelly you want. I like grape. And the book,
could use strawberry if you want.
You could. The book suggested grape, but you know, you could use whatever flavor you want. So this is off by itself. But this is really your ingredients for your frosting. You need 2.5 tablespoons of butter softened, and this is really soft because I've had this laying out the whole time those cakes were baking. You need a 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of creamy peanut butter. So that's why you see the dollop on top, as those are your 2 extra tablespoons. You need 1 1/4 teaspoons of vanilla, 2 cups of powdered sugar, and 3 to 4 tablespoons of milk. So I've just poured some milk in here, and I'll use as many tablespoons as I need. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cream the butter and the peanut butter until it's light and fluffy, and then we're going to add the vanilla. Now is we have our powdered sugar and our milk. I'm going to add some powdered sugar, and then I'm going to add some milk. And we want this to be a frosting for the top of the cake. So you can make it as thin as you want or as thick as you want. I'll probably do mine a thicker frosting, but I still want to be able to spread it. So it said 3 to 4 tablespoons of milk. We'll just see how much I end up with. So first I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start off and put some sugar in here right from the get-go. And then I'm going to go ahead and put 2 tablespoons of milk. And then we'll go from there. But we are going to use all of the sugar. Cake tray here, and you could use a regular plate if you wanted to, but I'm going to move one of my layers over, and I'm keeping the bottom, technically the bottom of the pan, I'm going to keep it up because it'll be nice and flat. And we're going to take all of our jelly and you're going to put it on the top and spread it out. To add our frosting, and this is pretty thick. This is pretty.
You want to add more milk?
This is pretty thick frosting. So I'm going to put this back in.
Just the fact that you can pick it up.
Yeah, I can pick it up, and I'm going to do this by hand. I'm not going to put it back on the mixer. But I would like it to be a little bit easier to spread. And that was really thick. I'm gonna cut this. See how it looks. And I'm gonna cut it this way for the camera. Normally I would not cut it this way. I would cut it differently just to try to get more pieces out of it. But this way will be good so we can see the inside. Oh, that looks really nice. And there is plenty of jelly in there. I can get us another piece. There we go. There, now you can really see it. With over a dozen southern states growing peanuts commercially, it's no wonder that peanut butter is the South's favorite spread. Those who like the combination of peanut butter and jelly don't stop with sandwiches either. Here, for instance, is a recipe for peanut butter and jelly cake. So we have our peanut butter and jelly cake, and guess what? I did not even realize when I chose this recipe, because I just go through these books and just pick what sounds good, that sounds like something that I will like, and anything with peanut butter sounds really good. So this one is from Mrs. Bob Renfro in Louisville, Kentucky. So
I thought it was like 12 states grow peanuts. I didn't know that. Or at least back in the 80s.
Yeah, a dozen, yeah, okay.
Back in the 80s, they grew peanuts.
I'm going to try the cake.
With the jelly?
No, I'm just going to try it,
cake.
yeah.
I'm trying the bottom.
Because it really,
No,
I like peanut butter so much that for me, a 4th cup in the cake, and then a 4th cup plus 2 tablespoons of the frosting, I would have done more.
You taste it though. I mean, it's not super overpoweringly strong, but you definitely taste it.
You do taste it, yeah.
And it tastes good with the jelly too.
Well, I haven't had it that way yet. Hold on. All right.
Nice little bit of jelly. A little bit of moisture.
I haven't had grape in forever. Grape jelly.
No, I usually eat raspberry.
Yeah, I've been eating raspberry a lot, but this might get me back on the grape.
I'll tell you what, the peanut butter frosting is really nice. It's thick.
That peanut butter frosting is the star. That is the star of the show. I'm
gonna get some of that.
I'm going to get some of the grape
Yeah.
and some of the frosting.
That's the only bad thing about it is the way they have you make it. It's going to be really hard to get the jelly and the peanut butter frosting together.
You know what? That is a delicious cake, though. That's wonderful. There's a couple of things that I would do differently, though.
Yeah.
Knowing now, because you don't know the first time, and honestly, the directions are very limited. I don't know if it was her original directions or if they shortened it, but I think next time you could make it the same way and have the jelly go all the way to the end. I like it showing on the edge. But if you're gonna frost the whole cake, don't have your jelly go to the end, because once the jelly goes to the end, if you're gonna frost the edges, well, it's gonna mix. The jelly's gonna mix with the peanut butter and it's gonna be a mess. So in order to have it not messy, don't have your jam go to the edge. Also,
even if you don't, it may still push out.
It may still, as you're frosting it, yes, you might still push it out. If you are going to frost the edges and all, I would say make your frosting thinner. Make it, add more milk. At least you're going to use 4 full tablespoons of milk and make it thinner. Because where mine was thick, I wouldn't have had enough to frost the whole side anyway, to the very bottom. But once my jelly started oozing, there was no way I was going to be able to frost the whole side without it making a mess. So truly, I love it. I think it's delicious. But if I made it again, I wouldn't even worry about frosting the side at all. I would leave the sides completely naked and let that jam ooze out the side, because I like the look of it. I like it that it like makes a little skirt coming down all the way around of the jam, the jelly. And so I would do it the same way, but I wouldn't worry about frosting the sides at all. And I would leave my frosting thick because I like it thick.
What about, and I don't know if this is working or not.
Okay.
What if you put a peanut butter frosting in the center first?
Yeah.
Like not a super thick layer, just a thin layer. Put your jelly on top of that, and then put your cake on. Because that way you're getting, my only complaint is really once you're eating the bottom of the cake, you're not getting hardly any peanut butter.
No, your peanut butter is really the frosting.
The frosting is literally the best thing in this cake.
It's wonderful.
So if you had a little bit of that frosting in the center with the jelly, I think that would be really nice. So maybe try it with a thin layer first. Put your jelly on top. Then it wouldn't matter if it ran over because you're still going to get some frosting in there.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, and then just do the top.
I tell you what.
It's very good though.
If I ever need a peanut butter frosting,
yeah, it'd be nice.
I'm going to come back to this video because, well, I like these videos because I show in the beginning what book it is. So I can go back on the shelf and get the book. But even like you at home not having the book, I've told you everything you need. And that frosting just needs the butter, the peanut butter, vanilla, powdered sugar, and milk. That's it. And that frosting is absolutely perfect peanut butter frosting.
It's really good. Very sweet.
It's very sweet, very rich. You're going to want a glass of milk with this piece of cake. I think a glass of milk would top this off perfect. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a glass of milk. But I do love this cake. I think it turned out great.
Yep.
I think even though I didn't frost it the way they would have liked you to frost it, I think it was still cute in its own way. And I love it.
No, I think it's really, really good.
So you like it. So do you like it with the grape or would you rather have it with strawberry?
Grape is fine. The grape is perfectly fine. Sweet. I mean, I like strawberry anyway, but either way would be fine.
Right. But choose your own. Choose whatever is your favorite. I mean, why go with what they say, you know? Choose whatever is your favorite.
Jelly.
Yeah, and use it. So I hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for watching.